What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Generational Health Podcast. My name is Carolina Palmer, and I am here today with one of my very dear friends, actually in his back porch. My friend David Mas, how are you today?
Caro, how are you? I'm here too. I'm just in my woods. This is my happy place. I love grounding, earthing, being in nature. So I found this place in the woods, just kind of cleared out a few bushes to make this little spot here. And I just love being out here. I'll shoot podcasts out here. The lighting is perfect. It just feels really cool. And I don't know, nothing feels better than just being in nature. So I'm in the side of my house right now. We just had a killer workout. And
Yes.
now I'm excited to talk to you and do an official podcast. We've talked about doing this for a
Heck
while now.
yeah. I would like you to just tell me a little bit about yourself, where you started, where you're from. Like, give me like a 3-minute synopsis of who David Moss is.
I am David Moss Jr. I am a follower of Christ. I've been married for 15 years, married my best friend. 15 years married. We have 4 kids. They're amazing. They're our best friends. We got our own little tribe. And about 2 years ago, I quit a 20-year career in the car business to make content full time. And I work with most major brands in the health and wellness space, mainly doing like reviews and how-tos of different products and modalities like cold plunging, sauna, different fitness stuff, different modalities like grounding and different biohacks. And it's became who I
Yeah.
am. Like it's became part of my daily rhythms that I love doing. It's changed my life, my family's life, so many lives. And now I get to share about it for a living. So that's a little quick
That's cool.
synopsis of who I am.
I love it. I love it. So I always ask every guest on a podcast, I ask them, what is health? And like, how would you define health?
I mean, health is life. I mean, without health, you can't live. You can't enjoy life. And I think health is one of the most important investments that people tend to put on the back burner and think they can just get around to. And I think we all know people who have all the money in the bank, but they can't enjoy it because they don't have health and they can't
Yeah.
go out there and play with their kids or their grandkids because they are constantly in pain and inflamed and maybe to the
Hmm.
point where the pain is set in so much to where there's nothing else they can really do. It's like life is fleeting
Yeah.
by and they just have to watch it. So I think health is one of the most
Yeah.
important things in our life. I mean, we have to have health to live.
Yes. I love that. So you're probably the third person I interviewed. And I go from like CEOs that you're in the health and wellness space to just even pastors talking about how health is literally everything, but not many people are actually doing something about it. And people are actually getting sick and they just choose to chug down energy drinks down the throat over and over again. It's really sad, to see that. The whole goal of this podcast, and I've said it before and I'm going to say it again, is for people to be challenged to have a conversation about how is their health spiritually, physically, and mentally, as the name of the podcast, Generational Health. And so hopefully you'll have conversations with your friends and family that will challenge you to have a different change in your life, whether it's spiritual, physically. So can you tell me a little bit about like how did you get into the whole cold plunging? Like how did that start it?
Yeah, so I was like a CEO. I was actually the vice president of a large automotive group, 400 employees, 4 rooftops, worked 6 to 6
Cool.
7 days a week. It was a big job
Six,
and
7.
yeah, it was a big job and it was a great job. Very demanding job mentally and physically too. Like it was more mentally demanding and emotionally
Yeah.
demanding. And it got to the point where I was doing, a lot of the same stuff every day. And for
Hmm.
like 7 years, doing a lot of the same daily habits, it kind of got, I don't want to say the word was boring, but it kind of got boring. The challenge kind of was limited. You've overcame so many of the hurdles that you're going to overcome. And then every day it's just the same hurdle, just voiced a different way. And I started
Yeah.
developing brain fog. And I just assumed that was something that happened as you aged. You just kind of get brain fog. And it got to the point where I was like, man, this is just, it feels like it's robbing me of my life. Like a day would go by so fast. And it's like, man, that
Wow.
was a whole day just gone.
Wow.
And I couldn't really recall some stuff. Like I would have a busy, productive day, but it would just go by so fast. And one day my wife's like, hey, go, my buddies were going snowboarding and she's like, you should go with them. So I met my
Yeah.
buddies out. They had an Airbnb. I didn't have any say in where we were staying. And I met them out in Park City, like the Keystone area. Got to this
Cool.
Airbnb. We went out, we were snowboarding all day long. And I'm from Florida. So like cold water wasn't a thing I was really used to. Like our water gets like 70 degrees at the coldest.
Right.
And we were
Yeah.
snowboarding all day and there was this like creek or kind of like a river behind the house we were staying at. And there was like ice in it. It was obviously really cold coming from the mountains. And one of the guys like, dude, let's go jump in that. And I was like, heck no, bro. Like we can't do that. He's like, yeah, we can. Wim Hof, bro. Let's do it. I'm like, "What word did you just say?" I didn't even know who Wim Hof was or any of this stuff. He ended
That's
up
awesome.
talking us into it, so me and a bunch of my buddies ended up jumping in this frozen river, and, like, I'll never forget that feeling. I mean, I get to enjoy that feeling every day now when I cold plunge, but it was like a reset, like,
Yeah,
like everything just, like, jolted back to life. My brain was firing on all cylinders. We'd been
so cool.
snowboarding all day. I was tired, but as soon as I got out
Yeah.
of that water, like 10 seconds in that water, I got out, I was like, "Ah, let's go do something. Like, let's go." It just fired me up. And then I got home and I built a cold plunge and I posted that on the internet. And that's kind of that's what started me in cold plunging. I'd always been into fitness, going to the gym, being a gym rat, and just doing like the little slow pace muscle building workouts, but never focused on
Yeah,
mobility or resiliency or recovery or any of that.
yeah.
And yeah, so I started cold plunging regularly after that. Built a cold plunge, posted it on YouTube, and then that just became a new passion, helping people get cold.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, that's how I got started.
How long ago was that?
That was 20, that was the winter of 2020.
Wow,
Yeah,
I love that. That's so it's been what, 5 years?
about 5 years. Yeah,
Years, that's cool.
crazy.
And one of the things that I love about you is that you are somebody who just challenges people to just do it and don't be scared. Like I love seeing Wyatt, your son, your 5-year-old son, just be like into a cold plunge. Like I've never seen a 5-year-old get into a cold plunge at a 55-degree water. And he's just, this is what we do. This is who we are. Health for us is not like a second option. It's like who we are. And I think that's
Yeah.
just like really inspiring. So like as a dad, what advice would you give to a parent who's like scared or stuck? Where should they go first? What should they do
Well,
first?
I think it's important to like realize what it is what kind of hero do you want to be for your kids?
Yeah. Good.
Not speaking from experience, but speaking kind of broad. My parents, they grew up, a lot of them grew up in the households where the kids didn't really have a voice. The parents said what we were doing. They planned everything out. You eat what we cook. And there wasn't much
Yeah.
of an opinion and a voice. And I think like our parents, like my parents saw that and they were like, that's not how we want to be. So maybe made a couple subtle changes, but in part of that, dealing with some of that, maybe drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes was a part of that generation's habits, right? So growing up
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
as a teenager, I was influenced by that. I would drink alcohol and I would smoke cigarettes and got into some of the recreational drugs. Um, I'm clean now, but that was a part of how I grew up because that's what I saw. And I haven't really thought
Yeah.
about this until recently. Someone brought it up. They're like, dude, how cool is it? Like your kids, they don't even know what it looks like to have a parent who's a drunk, or like they don't even know what it looks like to have a parent that
Yeah.
drinks away the pain or smokes away and numbs the pain. Like to them, when they're facing a tough time, they're going to be like, all right, what did my parents do? Oh, they jumped in a cold plunge, they got in a sauna, they had an open conversation and discussion about what was going on. Like my kids have only seen me and my wife's fights, not fights but tiffs, and like we don't hide it. When we have a
Yeah.
disagreement,
Come on.
we talk about it. We
Yeah.
don't yell at each other, belittle each other. We have a very structured conversation in front of our kids, and sometimes even ask them to weigh in. That's a whole nother
Yeah.
segment of what we could talk about.
Right,
But
right.
our, it's
Yeah.
cool to have kids that are seeing like this is what we do. Like we cold plunge, we work out, we walk barefoot, we jump in the lake, we don't wear sunscreen, we eat clean foods. Like this is just what we do, and it's not forced
Mhm.
upon them. It's just what they're seeing us do. So inherently, they do it too.
I love that. So, I don't know if you can speak into this because you've even with your past and Jesus coming into your life and all of this, like, but why do you think people get stuck? Why do you think people have the best intention of, oh, I'm gonna start this diet, I'm gonna start this workout? Like, there's so many like free stuff out in the internet that people can
Yeah.
just literally do it. You can ask ChatGPT to write me a 21 thing, how to lose 10 pounds, like everything, to the T. Like, why do you think you that have known people? Why do you think people get stuck?
I think people get stuck because of comfort, like it is what and I think that kind of wraps up the original thing. Like if you're a parent out there and you want your kids to live a healthier life than
Yeah.
you, show them the life that is normal. Like show them what is baseline. I think that's the word I want to use is baseline. Like we all go back, we
Good.
fall back to our comfort, back to like we fall back to what we just know. And if what we know
Yes.
is comfort foods, snack foods, sugary sweets, if we know that's what we know, when we get sad, we eat a
Mm-hmm.
tub of ice cream. If that's what we fall back to, well, that's our comfort. We fall back to it often. And when we start something hard, anything that's new is challenging. And when you face a challenge, like it's very natural to just fall back to your comfort. It's why so many people, if they hit a 1 rep max, they typically stay around that same 1 rep max their whole life. they might
Yeah.
they might
Right.
beat it by 10, 20 pounds, like, over 10 years, but so many
Yeah.
people can
Right.
hit, like, a 1 rep max at 18 years old, and they may only stay around that 1 rep max for the rest of their life because that's what they know. That's like, "Okay, this is the hardest I've ever done, and this is that baseline for
Right.
me." And I think people just get
Yeah.
comfortable with their baseline, so they fall back to it. And I heard something, it's a poem or a riddle that somebody said, but it's like, choose your hard. Everything's hard. Like being fit is hard, but
Yes.
being fat is hard
Yeah.
too. You have to choose your hard. And I think that's when you take it away and you're like being healthy, being fit, being resilient, feeling good, it is hard. It's not easy. It's not normal. It's not
Yeah.
standard. It's not
Right.
average. But then when you also say that, like, when you've lived a lifestyle where you're overweight, you're obese, you're in pain, you're tired all the time, that's also hard. But
Yeah.
people, like you said earlier, they try to suppress that and then just numb it with something that they see the world doing, which is like drinking an energy
Yeah.
drink,
Right.
pounding 7 coffees in a day. And don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, I love a good drink. Like, I'm drinking this new tonic right now. It's a productivity drink.
Yeah.
Is it clean? No, but I leave room for fun. I live by the 80/20 rule. Don't become so obsessive with something to where it, like, ruins the
It's good.
fun of life. Like, my kids, myself, my wife, like, we try to do 80% clean, whole, single ingredient foods. 80% of our fun is activities. 20% is vegging on the couch and eating ice cream
Yeah.
and drinking a fun drink.
Yeah.
Like, leave
True.
leave a little room for fun.
Yeah, that's
It's
good.
life has to still be fun. And I just want to encourage people, like,
Yeah.
you don't have to be so obsessive with something to where it literally
Yeah.
takes the fun out of living. But
Yeah.
80%
Yeah.
clean, 20% fun, life's still fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's something that I still am trying to find the balance where I'm somebody that I'm either all in or all out. I can't do, so the 20% for me is definitely hard. Tyler, who's my husband, like he really helps me with that. I'd be like, hey, it's okay if I get a Kit Kat. Like it's not gonna be the end of the world. And so it is hard. It can be discouraging because I'm like, okay, well, I have to start all over again. And you just don't. Like you're human. If you want to go eat an Oreo, yeah, it's not the best thing for you in the world, but go eat an Oreo. Like it's not gonna kill you, you
So
know?
true. I eat Oreos, and when I do, unfortunately, I eat a lot of them. Like, that 20% can turn to 40% really quick. But here's the thing I look at too. I don't count calories. I don't weigh myself every day. I don't do the in-body scale all the time to see my body fat percentage. I don't really even care how I look in the mirror. That does have something to do with it. You feel better when you look in the mirror and you see somebody you
Right.
like. That's helpful. It's encouraging. It's
Yeah.
motivational.
Right.
But
Right.
I weigh in on how I feel. And I know that there's certain things I consume that
Yeah.
actually add to my energy. And I know there's certain
Right.
activities I can do that can multiply my energy. But on the contrary, I
Right.
also know there's
Right.
certain things I can
Yeah.
consume that can subtract from my energy. And there's certain activities I know that can
Yeah, that's good.
divide from my energy. The reason I don't drink alcohol anymore or go out to bars and socially drink with people is that divides my energy. It takes it away not just from
Come on.
now, but it takes it away for the whole next day and possibly the day after that. I'm having to recover for an additional 2 days to just feel baseline again. And there's so many other activities I can do that multiply my energy that I'm equally getting
Yeah.
that social aspect to it, like doing wellness parties. That's how we became friends. Doing
Mhm.
group workouts,
Yeah.
inviting strangers over to work out. Like, you can invite some strangers over to your gym and, like, hey, I'm doing a group workout, at 3:30 in the afternoon at whatever the fitness place around your house is, and, like, see if any strangers
Right.
show up and want to work out with you. People want community, but I think that we sometimes fall into the
Yeah.
wrong places for that community. And I don't want my energy divided. I want my energy multiplied. And when I'm being active and
Mhm.
I'm being physical and I'm wakeboarding and swimming and running and working out and doing wellness parties and playing pickleball with other people, that multiplies my energy. And then coming back to kind of full circle this whole thing, the certain things I consume, like right now, I just ate lunch. I had steak, sweet potatoes, and oranges. I feel incredible. Like, I feel
Yes.
so good. I
Yes.
know that food is fueling
Not
me.
made.
No slump, right? It's 2 o'clock in the
Yeah.
afternoon and I'm
Yeah.
feeling great.
Right. Right.
I know
Yeah.
that food is fueling me and it's adding to my energy. I could
Yeah.
equally have chose to just eat, like, some heavy carbs, some processed foods that would equally taste good and
Right.
fill me up, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it would
Yeah.
subtract from my energy. So, like, when I
Right.
worked in the car business, we didn't have the opportunity to eat home cooked meals all the time because we were at work and we had to prep and all this stuff. So we would order out a
Right.
lot. And man, you'd be feeling good, you'd be feeling great, and then all of a sudden you order Five Guys and you have a burger and you have like a small fry because
Yeah,
you want to be smart. You don't even drink a soda, but the processed bun just subtracts your energy. So it gives,
totally.
it ruins the whole reason we're eating food to begin with. And I'm not saying I didn't do it, and I'm not saying I wasn't mindful and intentional, but when you start to like
Right.
really think about food as, okay, how am I feeling? Like there's certain days, like let's say it's starting to rain right now, I got all my work done. Maybe I want to subtract that energy. Maybe I want to just chill. I'll order some Five Guys,
Yeah.
sit on the couch and watch some Impractical Jokers or something, like
Yeah. Yeah.
you can
Right.
call the shots and how you want to live your life, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a little encouragement, like figuring out what gives you energy and what takes your energy away and just making those decisions.
I love that. I love that. That's so good. You are what you eat, right? Like there's a saying about that. Changing topics a little bit because I also, yes, I do want to focus a lot of physical health, but also let's talk about now like spiritual health. Can you walk me through your journey with Jesus? And I think I have this personal conviction that believers, I follow Jesus. We should be the healthiest people on planet Earth walking. And I think that's very biblical. We should be the salt of the earth. And I
Yes.
think it shouldn't just be, yes, follow the Lord, know the Bible, like do all those things that you and I know both that we should be doing, but also in the physical, like working out and like energy. I think there's something very beautiful on honestly the reason why mainly I work out is yes, because I want to be a healthy mom one day and just my kids watch me just like you and Stacey are an example on that. But also I think there's something when being physically disciplined to working out, there's something that translates into the spiritual world of it's just part of my routine, like wake up, read my Bible and go to the gym. And so can you speak into how was it for you, your life before Jesus and after Jesus and how that had even made you a healthier person?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I lived a very sin-filled life as a young kid. At 14, I was introduced to a lot of the wrong things of the world, pornography, alcohol, drugs. And lying. I mean, all that kind of wraps up into lying. Like I would lie to my
Yeah.
parents, I would lie to people to continue down those paths because they were at the time very comfortable and it felt like it's what I was supposed to do. It kind of felt like that's what boys just do. And
Yeah.
it led me into the wrong rooms, into the wrong friendships, into the wrong situations and scenarios. And
Yeah.
throughout all that, it kind of it turned me into a person that I'm not proud that I was. Obviously I love my testimony because that means I have a story that can relate to a lot of people. But when I met my now wife, I was 18 years old and I was living a life full of sin. And to me, I saw something different in her, but I just saw somebody I was attracted to and that I wanted. And she wouldn't just fall into that. And she's like, you no, she's
Yeah.
like, absolutely not. She wouldn't even give me the time of day or talk to me. And I thank God for her because she was like the first person in my life that gave me a reason to
Mm.
even seek Jesus a little bit. Like she was reading this book on her desk and we met at work. 18 years old, we met in the car business and she had this book on her desk and I'm like, what are you reading? She's like, it's a devotion. I'm like, oh, I love devotion. I didn't even know what devotion was. I didn't even know what a devotional was.
Right.
I just wanted to spend time with her. And so I was like just
That's
talking to her
awesome.
about this book like I knew what I was talking about. And
That's
then she
funny.
read her daily devotion to me and I'm like, wait, was that like Jesus and like God and stuff? And she's like, yeah, yes. And
That's awesome.
it was funny because I prepared like a little message for some teachers. I was going to do this devotion with teachers a couple weeks ago, and it got postponed. But my title was "You can't control the soil, but you can control the seed." Meaning, you can't control what is going to happen in someone's life, but you can control planting seeds. And she was planting seeds. So every day in my
Mm.
mind, I was spending time with the girl that I was madly in love with and in her mind she was just planting seeds or maybe she didn't even know it but she was
Oh
planting
wow.
seeds to the point where we never dated. I dated a whole nother girl who also was heavily involved in her church and I ended up going to church with her. Long story, I was kidnapped by my friend Keith Walker. We were supposed to go play basketball. Instead, he took me to church. First time going to a non-denominational church where we worshiped, and I was like, "That was cool, but why are we here?" And then it just
Yeah.
led to
Mm.
to an altar call, and it was a small church where the altar call
Yeah.
was a
So cool.
physical altar call. You stand up and you walk to the front and you show that you're giving your life to Jesus. And it took me
Yeah.
a good 10, 15 visits to church before I actually did that. But I'll never forget that feeling. Very, very similar to the cold plunge, where like I literally felt God taking this weight off of my shoulders. And I don't
Mm.
cry.
Come
I
on.
cried my brains out, snot coming out of my nose,
Wow.
the whole congregation putting their hands on me. I felt like demons were
Oh,
just
I
getting
love that.
pulled out of my life.
Wow.
And the first person I
Come
had to
on.
tell was Stacy. Like I called her. We didn't even I lived in South Florida at the time. Like it was a lot going on. We weren't even like around each other. And I was like, I just gave my life to Jesus. And we cried together
So
and
cool.
talked about it. And
So
literally
cool. Yeah.
months after that, I was 21 at the time. I quit drinking to party. Obviously, I gave my life to Jesus. I was on fire for the Lord, and within months, I asked Stacy to marry me, and within months, we were married.
So cool.
So
Come
yeah, that's
on.
my testimony in a quick nutshell.
Oh, he did
But
it.
but your question
Cool.
wasn't, so I want to share my testimony so people understood where I came
Yes.
from. Being
Right.
attractive is helpful. So like I went to the gym not for physical fitness. I went to the gym to look good because I was living a life of sin and everything I was doing was ruining my health. I didn't know at the time. I was just but I was doing the work, trying to outwork a bad lifestyle to physically look good so that I was attractive to the right women. Hate to say that, but that's selfishly what happened. And it developed some decent habits. Like I learned how to build the chest and how to build the shoulders and how to build the arms and like how to work out to basically minimize the time in the
Right.
gym and maximize the effort or the result. And
Mm.
learning that was good, part of my testimony. And then transitioning to now I no longer want to live that life of sin. I want to focus on my marriage and my children and being a father and being an influencer to people and showing them the way, or a way, not the way, but a way. It's very important to have energy, and I think health also equals energy. With bad health, typically it also equals low and poor energy.
Yeah. That's
That was a
good.
lot.
I
That was a
love
lot
that.
going on there.
No, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. I think, you know, there's a reason why people go through many different things and God's always writing our story. And I think it's just super cool. Mentioned on the first episode that I recorded with Tyler that I've always had this passion for health and wellness and just being the fittest I could ever be, not because of the looks, but because I think, as I said before, believers, I feel like we're called to not live a perfect life. Obviously, that will never happen, but just to set an example on, hey, like we can do better. I want to be the healthiest mentally, physically, spiritually. And I think everybody gets there. It's their own journey, how you get there to that. And I think your story will just really relate to a lot of people where I'm like, wow, like this guy is real. Like I know a lot of people get to see your Instagram, like you're very real with everything you do. And you talk about like, hey guys, like my life's not perfect. Um, and I think a lot of people appreciate the authenticity. So many people on the internet are just so fake, not because they want to, but because they feel like they have to do that in order to be successful. And I think like how your story, how the Lord has written your story to be like, I want to use you with your gifts and talents. It's so inspiring and encouraging. So I hope you really encourage other people to be like, hey, if you have a desire to like, even your wife, like we had this conversation today. Like, if you want to go inspire other people, you can do it with the authenticity. Like, nobody has your same voice and flavor that you carry, and nobody has your story. So you're always going to be reaching somebody.
Yes.
So I always had this passion of like, how do I marry my love for the Lord and for his scriptures to marry with my love and passion for Jesus? And I think is by doing this, is by just having a conversation that hopefully somebody will hear one day, 5, 10 years from now, or like maybe tomorrow, that'd be like, there is a different way of life. Like, I don't have to be stuck. I like Jesus can do so much more for them, but also it's cool. Like I have to do my part.
You have to do your
So
part, and your
I love
story is
that.
your story. And there's a part of your story like you have a reach that I don't have. I will never be able to speak to people. I will never be able to speak to all the people that you can speak to, and that's why we're like a network of
Right.
good information of testimony.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
if you talk
totally.
to 100 people, not 100 are going to get something from a conversation with you that
Right.
they're
Right.
not going to get your message. They're not going to follow, and they're not going to do. But maybe one will.
Right.
Maybe three will.
Yes.
Maybe
That's so
five
good.
will. And that's what I stopped caring. Like there was a time where I got consumed with this. Like when things started growing really fast and really rapid, you just kind of get consumed with the
Yeah.
growth. And when that happens, you do lose a little bit of your authenticity because you're trying to just keep that same narrative going. You're trying to
Yeah.
keep that same flow going, and it consumes you a little bit. And then I stopped caring again. I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm not talking to millions of people. I'm talking to one. I'm talking to one person, and I hope one person gets something out of this message where it can help improve their life a little bit. But
Yeah.
they have to make the decision. Earlier, you talked about why do people get stuck, right? Maybe
Mhm.
they just don't know.
Yeah.
Most people aren't willing to
Um,
go to ChatGPT and be like, "Hey,
yeah,
I got 15 extra pounds I need to lose. Let me ask Chat." Most people aren't willing to do that. Most people don't know they can do that. Most people aren't going to put in the effort to start because they're drowning in life. Maybe they've got
yeah,
kids and a marriage that's on the fritz and a job they hate. Like the last thing they want to do is improve themselves, but that's the first thing they should
yeah,
do
yeah.
because from
That's
you,
good.
your energy flows. Like
Yeah,
Jesus provides all this for us, but we have to be good stewards of what he's given us, and we're
yeah.
the
Come
vessel.
on.
How we
Yeah.
speak, how we present ourselves, how we communicate, just who we are. The light inside us has to shine. But it doesn't
Yes.
happen when we're sitting in a cubicle and we're not sharing. Like we have to be
Right.
willing to share. Put yourself
Yeah.
out there, be vulnerable, be real, be you,
Good.
and ask for help. Like, hey, I'm struggling with X, Y, or Z. Help. Give me the plan. I will do it.
Yeah.
And
That's good.
think that happens at rock bottom. Everyone hits their rock bottom, and that's where transformation happens. But unfortunately, I don't think everyone hits rock bottom. They get really close, and that's where the
Yeah.
devil wants you. Like, if this is the
Yeah.
top, the devil wants you here in this lower half. You don't have to make a change. You don't really have to make a change because you haven't hit rock bottom yet. It keeps you in your lane.
Yeah.
So
I love
I
that.
think what gave
Wow,
me
that's good.
I think what gave me wings and gave me the freedom and willingness to talk openly is that I forcefully hit rock bottom. I quit my 20-year career,
Wow.
tarnishing a relationship with my dad and most of my family and friends at the time. Entered a very
Right.
lonely season of life, and gave it all to God. Like I said, hey, I no longer have any control. I have no nest egg. I have no inheritance. I have no income. I have no friends. I have no family. I have my wife, my kids, and you, Jesus. So show me the way. And when you hit rock bottom and you have to give it to Him because you don't you can't do anything anymore. You've burned the boats and
Right.
you're there when there's nowhere else to
Wow.
look but up. It's magical. It's a
Yeah.
transformational, euphoric experience that you
It's good.
probably won't ever experience, but when you do, you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
That's good. I love that. Fire me up. That sounds can go run through a brick wall right now. That's awesome. So if what would you say, because what you say, you turn away from your 20-year career, like, and this is your full-time job, like you're a content creator, right? And this is what you do, this is how you sustain your family. What advice would you give to somebody who want to start to do something like similar?
Start, just start, just do it. Like we think we have to have all the equipment and we have to have everything figured out. If we have it all figured out, why do we need God? To me, God's the algorithm. God's gonna take your message, no matter how you present it. Listen, like I got started on an iPhone 13 mini using the front camera, no mic, no script, no nothing, looking at myself like the
That's
whole time I'm
awesome.
watching myself on the screen because I'm vain, like most of us, right?
Yeah.
And he used that to transform lives,
Come
which
on.
transformed mine. Like, here's the advice: just
Come
freaking
on.
start. If you get one view, that's like this conversation. Like right now, am I
Yeah.
hopeful that this message gets heard by a lot of people? Of course. Like anytime you press record and put yourself out there, you're hoping to become the next Mr. Beast. Like, I mean, everybody wants to, like, everyone wants that success.
Shout out Mr. Beast. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like one view is still one view. Like we're having a one-on-one conversation. So like even I have
Yeah.
to tell myself that sometimes. Like don't get caught up in the views. Don't get
Good.
caught up in the
Come
engagement.
on.
Just share the message, put it out there and let God take control. Like let him
So good.
control who gets to see it.
So
So
good.
yeah, the
I
advice is start. Don't go buy a bunch of equipment. Just start.
I I bought this 13 dollar mini mics,
These are
and
great.
all these people are like, buy all these equipment, and I'm like, if I know myself, I'm just gonna keep thinking, well, it's not perfect enough, so I just gotta do it, you know?
Just do it. Like,
Yeah,
just
that's
do it.
great.
And I'm proud of you for just doing it. Like, there's a lot of people out there in the world right now who have such an incredible, powerful testimony, but they're afraid to share it. They're afraid
Yeah.
to share it generally because of their closest circle too. They're not afraid of what their boss will say. So I
Wow.
say, quit letting the devil tell you that your voice doesn't matter and
Come
start
on.
speaking up. Like, share it. If your
Yeah,
parents
that's
don't
so
love
good.
you because you're sharing your testimony out there, that's their insecurities, not yours. If your
Yeah,
friends don't support you in your new journey of trying to be vulnerable and share it, that's their insecurities, not yours. Don't inherit other
so good.
people's insecurities. God gave
Come
you a
on.
voice and a story and a testimony for a reason. And if you don't share it, you're doing God a disservice. especially if
Oof.
you're hearing this message and you feel like that's me. If you're saying that's me, well, that's
Wow.
God speaking to you saying, "Yes, thank you. I'm glad you saw this. Now do something about it."
Fun. So good. I love that. Go okay. You're like youth pastor vibes in here. I'm here for it. That's so great. All right, let's just wrap up and finish. I think that's so rich content that you just brought in. I'm just trying to process everything. Looking back when I edit this, be like, wow, we could have talked
Man,
for hours about this. But I want to respect your time. I want to respect the listeners' time. Let me just throw some like fiery questions to you so people can get to know you more. And whatever just comes to mind, just answer. Okay. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
I'm a morning person, but I like the night too sometimes. I'm a little bit of both.
Okay. Will you do coffee or matcha?
Well, coffee all day, lots of it. I like matcha too, though.
Uh, would you wake surf or you? What's the other thing called? Board. What
Wakeboard?
tube? I don't know. Wakes with tubing.
Oh,
Wakeboard or
wake surf.
tubing?
I do not like tubing. My wife made me tube last night, and I was screaming like, "Oh, Jessica, no, come back, Jessica!" Remember there's like that funny meme thing going on. I did not like it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Would you do indoor gym or outdoor gym?
Outdoor gym all the time, every time, even in the rain.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Would you rather do cardio for the rest of your life or just do weights for the rest of your life?
Weights
I
for
love
sure.
that. Okay. And then would you rather do sauna for the rest of your life or just cold plunge?
Sauna. Oh yeah, sauna.
Nice. I was not expecting that. Mr. Cold Plunge Gaza has like 85 cold plunges.
Dude, I don't even like cold plunging. It's just good for me. It
Yeah.
helps me. I like sauna. I can get in the sauna.
Here are you. Tyler is the only one who's like, I cannot wait to go do a cold plunge. And I'm like, send no one ever, right?
Said no one ever. Exactly. I don't know
All
anyone who
right.
likes a
So
cold plunge.
seriously. Okay. Last thing. If you could give anybody a piece of advice about anything in life, what would you tell them? If they would only hear this last few sentences that you talk, what would you say?
Man, that's so deep. Life's so short. Don't take it so seriously. Don't try to have it all figured out. Leave room for leave room for spontaneity and leave room for God. Like when we have everything planned out on our
Come on.
schedule and everything specific, we take out the room for the Holy Spirit to intervene in our life and bless us with something we can't even write out.
So good.
I mean, I'm literally proof. Like I could never have wrote a contract out to God and said, "This is just what I want my life to look like." I could have never wrote it out
Wow.
and given it to him and it been as rich as it is right now. Like I
Wow.
had to just
So
step
good.
back, give it all to him, and he has put this
Yeah.
life in front of me I didn't know existed. Can give him room to work.
I love that. Well, National Hot Pot, that was David Moss Jr. for you. David, I'm so grateful for you. So thankful that you let me crash at your house with your kids and your wife. And it's been such an incredible journey to see you grow, not just in the wellness space, but also as a believer. It's really encouraging. Yeah, I guess we'll see you on the next episode. David, last thing, how can people find you? How can people find where you are? Socials, YouTube, all of that stuff.
Yeah, so on Instagram, it's D Moss Jr., DMAUSJR. And on YouTube, it's I just got smacked in the face by a chicken. And on YouTube, it's David Moss Jr. So it's spelled Maus.
Perfect. All right, boys, go like and subscribe to YouTube. He has some great content. If you want to get into the cold plunging or sauna, he has so many helpful things. He also has a lot of great links where you can get a lot of stuff for discounted. He's the supplement king. So if you go to his Instagram, you can find a lot of discounts and bring a value to you. And go ahead and share with a friend. Again, grateful for you. And I guess we'll see you when this episode is done recording.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Have a good day. All right, bye.